CONCORD is the punching bag of the gaming community. Every failure in gaming is related to CONCORD and CONCORD's success. At least to perform better than CONCORD, this game is performing worse than CONCORD. $400 million just for the game to be pulled 11 days later, while only peaking at around 700 players on Steam. That is horrible. That is terrible. But did CONCORD really deserve it? This isn't really me trying to play devil's advocate, but more trying to understand what happened. The biggest problem of this game, right off the bat, is the price tag. $40. This game was DOA. It could have had a lot better designs. It doesn't matter. You can't charge $40 for a hero shooter these days. It had to be free to play. The game did not have a battle pass, so I'll give it credit for that, for being a full price game and having a battle pass. They didn't have that. The cosmetics were actually earnable, and we didn't really see what the full microtransaction service looked like because the game shut down before it was fully revealed. However, having earnable gear in game is a nice touch and something more games need to expand upon, especially when you're a $60 game like Call of Duty. This game would have survived way longer and might have actually had a chance if it was just free to play with battle passes. People complain about battle passes all the time, but if you want a game to remain free to play, you almost have to have battle passes. And looking at the gameplay itself, it doesn't look that bad. It's not like anything mind-blowing that's gonna like knock your socks off, but it looks enjoyable. It looks like something that you'd have fun on. You load up for a few hours, play, and hop off. I do think there was a lot of potential in this game, and I am kind of upset that Sony just gave up on it. The game has potential. The game has made a name for itself for being so bad. So if they were to like take it offline for a year to redesign the characters and everything that people have complained about and bring it back as a free-to-play shooter, I think there could be real success with it. I think Sony gave up way too quickly on it. What's unique about the gameplay is that it's not really like Overwatch, more so it's like Call of Duty and Rainbow, where your abilities are not as impactful and there's not ultimates like in Overwatch. I think the biggest problem with the gameplay itself is just how slow some of the characters move. These maps look really big and these characters just move way too slow for how big the maps are. I can only tell off of the gameplay I see. I was never able to play it for myself, so I'm only judging on what I am able to view right now. Of course, we all know the biggest problem in this game. It's the design of the characters, and there's really no defending it. They just look so bad, boring, and generic. Actually, I can't even say they're generic because they don't match the role that they play. Do you really think this guy looks like a medic? I truly don't know what role he is supposed to be. He looks like some high school kid that just got a hold of random clothes and just put them on. Then you have generic white guy number 4 that looks like he's about to go airsofting and not some space commander or whatever he is. And Imari, she doesn't even make any sense. She is so big with a minigun. She has all this armor and then her face is just completely exposed and she is wearing this ugly lipstick. This character just looks stupid. I don't know. I think you could probably fix the design by just giving her a cool face shield, a cool helmet, but it just looks way too bulky and the colors look bad. And this game is just filled with terrible color palettes for all of its characters. Another problem you have is just nonsense on the character. Things that are overly designed and do not look like they serve a purpose at all. Look at Davir's. This helmet looks terrible. What is that stuff on their chest? It just does not look good. It does not look aesthetically pleasing. And then you look at someone like Baz. If I show you this character, ignoring the knife, what does it look like this character is? I would think this character is just a legendary skin for some other character, not a primary skin. This looks so impractical as someone who's the knife-based melee hero. Her hair does not look good. It looks horrible. Her glasses look terrible. They're giving her shoulder pads. And she just has this ugly lipstick again. It is like there's so many female characters in this game that just have terrible lipstick for no reason. It's overly designed, it does not look practical, and the character does not look like she belongs in the role that she does. Her gameplay actually looks really fun, but this character does not look fun at all. She looks bad. There's so many other characters that I could rip into their designs. I'm just not going to. There is a few characters that I do actually like. Haymar is one of them. Duchess is one of them. I actually really dig her design. Kips, I could see the potential with it. And Starchild actually looks like he belongs in the game. I think there's a reason why he's the cover character. And honestly, I think the best character in this game is the walking trash bin. His design is honestly so dumb that I kind of love it. But this game just suffers from character designs. Nobody wants to pick up these characters. These characters were just completely made fun of because they look bad. They don't look like they serve a purpose. Their color palettes are terrible and they're just overly designed for no reason. And it's kind of a shame because if the characters were even halfway decent, I feel like this game could have stood a chance. chance. If this characters were, they could be bland and generic, that's fine. It's when they're ugly is when it's a problem, when their designs don't make sense. If we just had some astronaut with a gun, I feel like that would have been better design than generic white guy number 4. I think people would have been way more excited about this. Because again, the gameplay isn't bad. Some of this gameplay looks really fun, actually. I wish Sony wouldn't have given up on it and would have, I don't know, put another $50 million into redesigning a lot of the cast, went on a whole, not apology tour, but like this is the new and improved Concord. Because I feel like dumping $400 million and just dumpstering it right away was a huge mistake. The game does look fun. It also doesn't help that the game came out at maybe the worst possible time it could have, where hero shooters are just seen as oversaturated. But people don't really look at gameplay. They just see the designs, they see people dogging on it, and then they go and dog on it also. Seeing a very similar thing with High Guard right now, where people thought High Guard was a hero shooter. And I feel like Concord has damaged other games now because they're comparing it to Concord without even fully knowing the game. Marvel Rivals was lucky that it broke this trend, and I think it only broke it because it has recognizable characters that people have had 30, 40, 50, 60 years to grow and love. Because if Rivals launched without the Marvel IP and it was just Concord type designs, the game would have failed. It could have had the exact same gameplay it does now without the characters and the designs, it would have failed. It's sad that we'll never see what Concord could have become, because I definitely feel like there was potential. Now it's just a case study on everything not to do. But that's just my opinion. If you guys enjoyed the video, please be sure to subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.